Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wizards Outlook. Joined, as always, we got Raymond, Lyons, Wilson, Tarpeh Jr., and the Washington Wizards just beat the Phoenix Suns 128-105. This is Washington's third win of the season. Brad almost had a triple-double, came up a little bit short, but for the first half of this one, we got to see good defense played by Washington. As per this year and the trends with Washington, it lasted for exactly one half. It did not resurface in the second half at all, but they were able to hold on. So, Ray, I ask you just your initial thoughts on this one.
It's a good win, man. It's a wire-to-wire win. They dominated. They did take the foot off the gas a little bit on the defensive end in the second half. But it's hard to be overcritical after a game like this, but it is worth noting as defense has been kind of their Achilles heel the whole year. You kind of want to see them, continue with the aggression and execution on that end that they had in the first half. So you can kind of start to build habits and make it a normal thing around here. As you can see, when they do play defense, then it yields results and it feeds into their offense. It gets the other team frazzled. They harass Phoenix into their one of their worst shooting nights of the year, if not their worst. Phoenix has been playing well. So, it's not like this is a bottom feeder team. They dominated. We've seen in the past where they've been able to compete with the top tier teams in the league. So, I'm at the point with this team where there's not many excuses left. Russell Westbrook didn't play tonight. Thomas Bryant's injured, and you still engineer a win like this. Of course, every game isn't going to be like this. They're not going to win by 30 or whatever the difference was. But with that type of effort and the way they started that game, if you can just stretch that out and make that a normal thing, then a lot of these outcomes look totally different. So, but yeah, man, it's a good win. I mean, there's not too much else to say. Davis Bertans must have heard us because he woke up a little bit tonight.
Right.
That basket must have looked huge to him because everything he was throwing up went in. E. Smith, did his normal, came in off the bench, provided a spark. Neto played well. Of course, Bradley Beal, just business as usual. Robin Lopez, man, he really made his presence felt. He abused them, took advantage, especially the times when DeAndre Ayton was out the game. He just found a spot near the basket, settled in, put guys on his back. Then when he got the ball, it wasn't anything to think about. He just went up and scored, and he rebounded well. So yeah, man, it's good job, guys. Hopefully they can they can continue this. They need to kind of string some wins together here. As the season's progressing rapidly, and after a while it's going to be do or die time. But if they can continue to perform like this, I don't see any reason why they can't even up that win loss a little bit.
Yeah, that's the first thing that have to happen, and that starts with stacking up these wins. And again, at some point you're going to want to get close to 4 quarters of playing good defense. At some point, just to see what happens. This game, when this one going away, and you played one half of good defense. You gave up 15 in the opening quarter. It's pretty darn good defense. Phoenix had 27 in the second quarter, but much of that came towards the tail end of the quarter. But also, you scored 39 points in that quarter, most of which came from you playing good defense. The second quarter was just a shootout. Both teams just traded baskets. It was literally 36 apiece. Phoenix won the last quarter because, again, it was a shootout, except Washington had some cushion. But again, that 15-point quarter, 27-point quarter, it was a positive. Obviously, we would like that to be like 2 15-point quarters, but I'm not going to go too crazy. Let's be realistic here, right? Stay in reality. You got to take it one step at a time. Give Washington credit. Love that you brought up Lopez and what he did. Even with Ayton in there, his 11 and 11 were huge. Again, you see 11 and 11 in a box score, you're like, All right, that's cool. He had a double-double. So what? Like you mentioned, he did a great job protecting the paint when he was in there, and just putting crazy pressure on Phoenix just by rim running, especially like you said when they went small. He kept running into point guards hanging at the restricted circle. And the one thing I give Lopez credit for is when he does catch it, the ball doesn't come down. Seldom doesn't come down. It stays up there. And, again, those 11 points were big. 59-47 on the glass for Washington. 15 of those were offensive. The last game we were talking about the turnovers. There were 13 turnovers combined in this game. Combined between both teams, yeah. Yeah, six for Phoenix, 7 for Washington. So the points in the points off turnovers in this game were extremely close. But Washington won that with they got 15 points off those 6 turnovers, and Phoenix only got 10 points off Washington's 6 turnovers. And then the bench, 51-36. And with what we've seen, I know with people with the injuries and people being out, losing key contributors, the second unit's starting to come into its own a little bit. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's just done a great job with that unit kind of being a league out in that unit where you don't have to have Brad on the second unit the entire time with them.
Right.
Also, this year, Matthews getting more minutes on that second unit helps a little bit because while Brad's out, you still have someone that can run off screens and hit shots. So it's not just it's creating everything. I want to give him credit for doing a better job of keeping pressure on opposing defenses, not just looking for his own shot, but for setting a table for some of the other guys on the floor with them. Again, just one game, we'll see where it goes. But it was 1.5 of good defense, man. I don't know, maybe see if we get it to 3 quarters next game. Next game, you got
baby
Utah.
steps, man. Baby steps.
Baby steps, right? But next game, you got the Wizards were up by as many as 32 at one point in this one. Again, this is where defense gets you. They can score. They got shooters. And so I really feel like, when Bertans got going early, a lot of that came off them getting stops. And him just walking in the threes as a trailer, which is comfortable. What I don't like with him is in a half court, if he's not catching it off the screen cleanly, move it. Bad things happen. He puts that thing on the ground. I don't want you to ever do it. It's okay. Just give it up and go relocate, man. Just don't do it. But again, you got Utah coming in, I think, Wednesday. So, Lopez, again, the onus is on you because it's tough. You and Wagner. I got to Gobert down there. No, it's not like Gobert puts up a ton of points, but yeah, that's not the little guys you were running to in the paint tonight. And then, someone's going to have to deal with Donovan Mitchell. Book got his. But the thing is, with guys like that, Book got his, so did Brad. Cool. Y'all both score. Everything's great. But the rest of the Wizards is better than the rest of the Suns. So, sometimes it's just that simple. But I was encouraged by the little things that they did. And, it's only 3 wins, man. Got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you?
Just that, I think we might start to see that rotation shorten up a little bit. Some of it is going to be by choice because of injuries and what have you. But
Right.
but I think this is the most cohesive we've seen them all season. Just for one game. Garrison Matthews, he's earned his way onto the court, and I don't see a reason why that's not going to continue. He's been one of the bright spots for this team, honestly, and and if they can get to a place of comfort, and they kind of just know what to expect, when certain people are going to come in the game and who they're going to be playing with, I think that that cohesiveness is just going to continue to improve. And I think that helped the defense as well. They started quick, and then when they got that second unit in there, it wasn't much drop off, if any at all. Because they just kind of got into a flow and everything was working for them this game. And it's easier to compete at a high level when everything is going good for you. But maybe they'll get inspired by this. They got a lot of good things to go over in film. between now and Wednesday. So, it's just it's good to have positive images to take into the next game. So yeah, man, hopefully the trend continues and maybe we do get 3/4 of good defense next game. Who knows? But yeah, man, this was a really good win for them. They look good tonight, man.
I keep my fingers crossed on that, man. We got a whole consecutive half, so we'll see where it goes. But again, we're laughing, but it's literally it, man. It's not too much is going to change every night. We know what needs to be done. We've discussed it enough times. It's just a matter of how much of it they do, if in fact they do. It's literally that. And Brad's in a really nice rhythm right now. One of the things I really liked tonight was he came out obviously looking for a shot. He also came out looking to get others involved. So it's weird going this way early on. And my decision is going to be tough because Neto's. I really like Neto when he starts.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different flow. And then when he comes off the bench, it's a little different. But another discussion for another day. That's why I don't get paid to be a coach or anything. Those types of decisions. But again, it's just interesting what they look like when I'm out there, and also him being out there changes his spacing a little bit because he's a capable 3-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Not sometimes, but more often than not, you leave him open, you get burned. We'll see how that goes. But y'all, thanks for hanging with us tonight. I was at Focus TV. We'll be on tomorrow night, and then Wednesday, Wizards Jazz. That's the last one at Capital One for this homestand, and then on Friday night when we talk to you guys on Wizards Outlook, I believe they will be on the road. So you guys have a great one.